Welcome to my channel, everyone. My name is B. I'm the creator of Witcher Academy, a cozy live scene where you play as a wizard apprentice and have a fluffy cat as a spirit companion. You wake up every morning on your cozy home and your cat is there waiting for you, and then you're ready to go to the academy and go to different lessons to catch spells, brew potions, craft things, take care of your garden. I'm very active on the Twitter of my studio account, where I post once a week about the game. I post every update we make and with the new art, with new mechanics, so check the link below. I'll post also the link to the Steam page so you can wishlist the game and a few other links. Today we're gonna take a look at data assets and data tables. We're gonna create a simple basic quest system, and this is an example. I have my friend this cat and I interact with it and it's asking me for food and it will tell me a secret. So I have on the right side a quest list and I just have to find food. We also have a chest right here with something inside. Okay, oh, I need a key to open this chest. And now we have 2 keys. And let's find out the key. Okay, here it is. Right. Nice. Yes. The quest is gone. And the cat still needs the food. Let's see if we can find something for the cat. Alright, we have some delicious sashimi right here. Okay, cat, here you go. Oh, that's not very nice. You've fallen into my trap. There is no secret. Okay, never mind. I'm gonna leave the project files on the description box, and they will have the example of the code, but some of these assets are not free, so I can give them. I will link below everything where I got everything: the robot, the cat, the chest, and the environment. In Unreal, we can store data in different with different things. We can store simple text, integers, blueprints on a blueprint, or we can use data tables and data assets, which is what I like, to store these type of things like quest, items, dialogue. For example, if you want to create a character customization, a data asset will be a good idea. So let's check this quest data that I have here. It's a simple quest data with some simple information. We have the character name, the quest ID. This is the ID that we're gonna link with every element that is interactive in this map. So the cat and the chest will have this same ID. A message, which is just the message you're gonna receive when you interact and there is a quest waiting for you. A short description. This is just for the quest list that I had on the right side. And when you complete the quest, you will see this message. We also have another ID. In this case, it's a 19 ID, which is the item you need to complete the quest, and a simple texture to represent on the UI. So I have 2 examples. One is for the blue cat and the other quest is for the chest. One of the nice things about data assets or data table is that you can have one single reference for anything. So in my case, I decided to link this data asset in my game mode, because game mode is accessible for any actor in the map, so I can get a reference to the current game mode and cast to the specific type and get the quest data. Because this is a unique asset, unique reference, you can have different maps and different game modes and reference the same element. So for static data that wouldn't change, across the game, you can use the same data asset. Let's take a look how to create a data asset first. Right click on the content browser, we go to miscellaneous, and we have data asset or data tables. In this example, we're using data assets, which can store blueprints and not only text or basic types. Data tables are great if you just have basic types, for example, text, integers, booleans, elements like that. I usually use data assets because I normally have more than text. So we just need to right click and it will ask you for the type. In my case, I have a QuestData type, which is on C++. And I'm not so sure if you can create a data set with no C++ on top. We just need to select that and set a name. We will create a new one, QuestData 2. And if we open that, we will have an array and we can start creating elements. We have all these types. Let's go and check how the C++ code is made. I have this in definitions.h, which is a perfect place to add structures like this. And we have a blueprint type, fQuest. Don't forget to add this so Unreal can pick this up on the editor. And then lots of U properties with these modifiers. We have the same character name, quest ID, message, short description, complete message, the item ID, and the U texture 2D for the quest, for the item quest. Then the data asset, so this is the just structure for each element on that array. To create the list, we need to extend from U data asset. You're gonna need this include. And it's basically a T array with the quest data, so we can have as many as we want. Another element I have here, but this is just for the player and to illustrate this example, I have another fQuest item with the quest ID and is completed or not. This is just for the player to see if I have to show the quest or if it's completed or not. And I have a few other elements. I also have another data set for different types, but I'm not using that right now, but you have another example here. Now let's go to the game mode. In this case is how to game mode. That's the default name when I created this project. No, that one, but yeah, but this is the game mode. The blueprint is extends from this how to game mode. And I have a reference to that Quest database, and so it's defaults, edit defaults only, because I only want to edit this on the blueprint, not any other place, and it's blueprint read only. Then I have a few functions. I have find quest, so any actor I can access this function and find a quest, and it will receive the fQuest type, which is this. So the actor that accesses that, it will have all of these elements and we can operate through that. To find the quest, we receive a quest ID, which will be this one. And a success, that is just a reference, so this will be true or false, and it will be inside this function. It's a blueprint callable and blueprint native event, so we need the implementation. This is because I'm going to have some code on C++, and then if an actor wants to access this through blueprint, it will execute both. It will execute the blueprint code and then the implementation. And then the implementation of this find quest is very simple. First we set this to false, and then We create a temporary object, and if the quest data is not null, we can find, and it's just a simple loop through the quest data, which is this array. And we just compare the quest ID with the quest that we received here. That means success, and we send the object. If we open again the Blueprint main game mode, which extends from that, we will see we have the quest system and the reference. So we just need to reference that from here. Okay, now the logic behind this. So first let's reach the cat. And yeah, the cat's the text, we are close to that. And then we press A. And because the cat has a quest for us when we interact, it will show us this UI with the text and the texture. And we accept the quest right away, so we have on the quest list the find food quest, which is the short description I set on the quest data. Now, this is gonna be a bit long, but and this is a very simple, basic example of how to do a quest system, but this wouldn't cover many cases and different dialogues. So this is just like a base. If you want to use this, you're free, but maybe it's not gonna be useful for your own game. You probably need to extend this and do it more complex. I'm not gonna cover all of that here because I want to show you how to use data assets and not a quest system. Let's take a look at the cat. And the cat is just a character which extends from CatCharacter, and is an actor, and it extends from this interactable. I have a full video covering interfaces with this specific example, so I'll link that below because I don't want to explain that again. But basically, when the player, the character, the main player is close to the cat, the player will receive a reference to the current interactable. When we press the action key, it will execute a function, which is the function interact. So that's how this works, and also it works for the chest like that. And the chest is just an actor, which extends from interactable and an extra actor, but you will have the code, so it's easy to follow. So basically, all the logic for the quest appears in this interactive implementation, which is called from the how-to character. Here. This is a reference to the interface. In this case, it will be the cat, and it just executes the onInteract function. This one. In this case, it will be the C++ code. If we go to the onInteract implementation, here's when we have some logic for the quest. So first things first is we're gonna take a look at find the game mode, how to game mode, and if we have a quest active, so if this is true, which is declared right here, we have the quest ID for this cat and if it's quest active or not. So now we find the quest with that quest ID from the cat, and if we find it, we check if that quest has been accepted or not. I have some function for the player character that I will show in a bit, and it's just to see if this quest has been accepted already or not. If not, all we do is we call this and show quest info, which will show the UI that I created for this example with the quest that we found from the game mode. And we send this, we call this function to accept the quest. So next time this will be true. If the quest was accepted, we check if this quest info, which is just a simple structure that I have on the player with the quest ID and is completed or not. If it's not completed, we check if the player has an item, with the quest item ID. This also is because I have a small inventory on the player, which is nothing like, it's just an array of elements, IDs. Excuse me. This is just the player has only one element per each time. So that's the inventory. It's just an ID that the player has or doesn't have, and this only happens when the player is holding something on their hands. Let's continue. It's not completed, so we check if the player has this item, which will be true or false. If it has, we remove the item. What we'll do is remove the item from the hands and remove the ID from the player, and we mark the quest as completed. So it will change whatever is here. Finally, we show a simple quest completed with the message, and we set this to false. So we'll finish with this quest. If it doesn't have the item, we will show again the same information. And the same happens if it's not completed. So as you can see, this is very, very simple. There's nothing complex in this logic. And because it's very basic, this wouldn't cover different dialogues or more cases or having different quests. So this is a basic example. Let's move on to the player so I can show you some of these elements. I have this quest item, which is a simple structure with a quest ID and if it's completed or no. Then we have the item ID on the hands. This is when we are holding an item visually. And finally, we have this find quest, accept quest, and mark quest as completed. These are the functions that I'm using on the cat to check what's going on with the quest. And we also have these blueprint implementable events, which are for the blueprint on the character to show information through the UI. On show quest info, we will show the info of the information of the quest. So quest completed and update the quest list. We also have this one to update and show quest list. Let's start with this bit. So let's find quest. Simple. We go through the quest list, the array, and if this quest exists on the player, that means the quest has been accepted. No, it will find the quest. Okay. Yes, so it will find the quest. Now we're gonna check if the player has accepted the quest. In this case, this accept quest will find the quest, and if it exists, it will accept the quest right away. This probably is a bit redundant because we have this find quest. We can probably use this inside here. But to keep this simple, I decided to go this route. So we will find the quest again, and if we haven't found the quest, that means this quest wasn't accepted. We create a new element. We set this to completed. It's not completed, and we add it to the list. This way is a way to just add one quest of this type each time and not many of the same type. And we call this update and show quest list, which is something that I'm going to show you later, is to update the quest of list. And finally, we have mark quest completed when we give the item to the cat. And again, we find the quest, and if it hasn't been completed, we mark this as completed. Again, we call update and show quest list, which will update the list of quests. Let's check the game again. We move, we are right here with the cat, the text that we are here. We press the action button, and yeah, that's what it does. So it checks for the quest, and if the quest exists on the game mode, it will bring the information, and if it hasn't been completed, it will show me the information and add one element to the quest list. Now let's go away. The UI will be shown and hide automatically when I am inside or outside of the cat. And now let's finish this quest. So okay, we have this sashimi. We can take the sashimi. Now the player has this item, which will be sashimi dish, which is the same reference on the quest list. Now we're gonna interact with the cat again, and because we have the item that we need for this quest, the cat will tell us thank you. Will tell us that there is no secret, and that quest is gone. And because we only have one quest, no more quest. But we can check with the test, and again we have a new quest to find the key. Now let's take a look at how I did the simple UI. For that, we need to open the third player person character, which is where I have the UI, and when I'm doing the show quest info, event show quest completed, and event on show updated quest list. Those are the blueprint events that I've used to call in combination with this one. Let's first take a look at this one, which I'm calling every time I accept a quest or mark quest completed. And what I do is I find the request on the quest in the game mode. As you can see, every actor can access this. The chest, it's also have the same logic as the CatCharacter, but because the chest is an actor, I had to, let's say, duplicate the code. I'm not a fan of duplicating code, but it was easy in this case to do it this way. And to not overcomplicate things, but I'll probably put a similar code in a different place, or make a component which is quest component for the actor, or something like that. I don't know. So update and show quest list. It will find that quest, the game mode. Then I'm gonna create the array of f text, because this is what I sent to the UI. I don't care about anything else. It's just a list with a short description of the quest. This is the quest list of the player, the list of quests that we have. And what we do is, okay, if this quest is not completed, let's find that on the game mode. And if we find it, we add this quest text list to the short description of the quest to the quest text list. When we finish with that, we will have updated the quest list. And yeah, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I believe I can only add 5 because the UI that I made is very simple, so it wouldn't have a scroll system or anything like that, just 5 quests. That's another thing that you will have to work out, but this is just an example. Let's go back to the player. So I have simple UI. I have 2. One is the player UI with this element with a text and a quest images. And I call this on show quest info, this referent. I gather this referent every time I show this UI, which is when I am close to with a character or another actor, and I press the action, I will call this from that actor. So I will create this element here. Just create a player UI and add it to the viewport and finally show. So if this exists, which is set here, I'm gonna receive all this information and just call a function inside that widget. So quest info, very simple. I make this visible, which is this whole element right here, and contains this background, this size box, the text, and an image. Then I receive the text quest, which is the message for the quest, and the image. And what I do is I make this visible, I set the text, and I set the texture for the quest image. I use this node set brush from texture and matching the size. So it will take this element, the quest image, and do that. And the same with the quest text. Let's go back now and let's check the event on show updated quest lists, which is the event that I call from the other internal function. This one with the quest text list every time I accept a quest or a quest is being completed. For that I have a different widget blueprint which I create at the beginning of the begin play. So I have a reference which is the type of widget blueprint quest. Now I just simply call this event. The way you can access these events is event on quest. So you have all the three. If I click now, it will tell me that. So basically I send a list to the quest text. I first check if this is valid to avoid any issues, and if it's, I just call this simple update quest list. Okay, this is a bit more complex, but what I do is basically I check first the length of the quest list. If it's more than 0, then I make visible the quest list, which is this element right here, this canvas panel. If it's not, I just made it hidden to not have an ugly box right there. Then what I do is quest text list, which is a list with all these elements. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements. And I basically reset that quest text list with empty elements. When it's completed, then is when I send each element of that. So I do a for each loop, and I take again the quest text list, I check the length, and if this index is less than the number of elements, then I set this element. This is because sometimes you have less elements on the quest list than the elements, the visible elements. So this way we prevent any kind of, if we have more than we can have on the quest text list. With that logic we can prevent that. We simply set the text. Now to populate this list, I did it on the event construct. So I take the quest list vertical box, which is this vertical box right here. I get the children count and I do a normal for loop. Then I get each element with this get child add with the index. I cast 2 text blocks and I add it to this quest text list, which is an array of text element. And finally, when it's completed, I hide this element so we don't see that box from the start. So this is it. This is the whole explanation for the simple basic quest and the data assets. I have a Discord where it's a Discord for Witcher Academy, but you're more welcome to join and ask me questions about this or any other tutorials, Unreal tutorials. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and please share, like, subscribe, it helps. See you next time on the next video. Bye!